Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Okay, guys, let me just finish shuffling these cards. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is obstacles are being dissolved. They're not just being lifted and placed somewhere else. They're being dissolved, like full on dissolved. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, actually. If you're ready for change, change is ready for you. You just have to allow this to happen. So the feeling that I'm being given this morning is that amazing things are being set to happen for you, for me, for all of us. And we simply have to allow these things to occur, not fight it, not fight to hold on to, oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. We'll keep you, card. My goodness. How dare you throw yourself at me like this? Card threw itself at me. Okay. So if you're fighting to hold on to something, tell me why you're fighting for that. Is it a sense of you need to fight for it? Are you supposed to fight for it, or you're just choosing to? That's the real question. That's the real question, right? So I got to make this quick because reminder, I just realized I didn't remind you guys. That's the whole point of coming live today. Here is a reminder. I'm going to be going live in the Soul Sanctuary right after this live stream. If you're not already part of our congregation, if you don't know, I am a senior pastor for Soulwork Synergistic Church. It's a church that I founded with all of you, my community. The Soul Sanctuary is our community space where we go to speak about all sorts of different things, from changing our lives, our perspective, to energetic events that are upcoming, just really preparing ourselves and allowing for the greatest degree of potentiality to be welcomed into our space. So that's what the Soul Sanctuary is. If you're not part of this already and you want to be part of it, please click on that QR code or the link in the comment, and it will take you directly to the Soul Sanctuary. And just so there's clarity, that is for a recurring contribution. All of those funds go to our church, Soulwork Synergistic. I don't process it, the church does. And if you're in the United States, this is not a membership. This is, again, categorically a recurring contribution, making it eligible for donation status and tax deduction. Okay, so you can claim that. We are an actual bona fide church. We are, though. We are. So let's get started with the cards here. Oh, Lordy. All right. Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. So obstacles are being dissolved. Before these obstacles are dissolved, things are going to get really intense. And they're going to seem much more intense than they need to be if you are unaware of what you're going through. This is kind of the theme that I've been witnessing play out in the readings for the past couple of weeks, that you have to allow yourself to experience a degree of awareness that will allow you to properly prepare for what it is you're being prepared for, by life, by soul, by all of that. There's a cycle and a connection that's being allowed to end. The death card, right? This doesn't mean someone is going to keel over. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that there's an ending that's approaching. You could either allow yourself to fixate on the fact that something is ending and be upset by the ending that you cannot stop, or you can see endings as precursors to new beginnings. Whenever something ends, something new is being allowed the space to start. So whenever something ends, whether it's a friendship, employment, whatever it is, my first thought is, okay, so what is going to be taking its place, right? What is going to be allowed to come through to benefit me? Like, what am I supposed to learn through this? Um, how is this going to play out? All of that wonderful stuff. Now, for those of us who are willing to go through this process and allow these obstacles to be dissolved, that ending is permanent. It's permanent. So maybe there's an individual that is very unhealthy for you and you haven't been able to clear them from you. Maybe it's a situation, maybe it's something with work, but there is something that you haven't been able to clear out of your space, out of your thoughts, out of your mind. And I think for some of us who are willing to allow these obstacles to be dissolved, um, this is on a permanent basis. Once it's removed, it's gone. And that's something that I think we need to kind of wrap our mind around in advance of it being removed. So that way we can best um, frame our experience. There's probably going to be some emotions involved, right? Emotions of sadness, regret, maybe some type of grief. Um, that's normal. We don't just grieve the passing of an individual. We, as feeling humans, sometimes we need the time and the space to grieve the loss of a potentiality that we wanted, but really was not meant for us. So that's something to be aware of, that there might be a time where you will need to grieve the loss of something you wanted, but were never meant to experience or have long term. Okay. Now, you need to make sure that you're dedicated to this process. This is important. If you're going to initiate this, which I don't think you have a choice, I don't think you have a choice of whether or not this will be initiated. I think what's happening is something is being initiated on your behalf, and you simply have to either agree to flow with it or not. And I think if you agree to flow with it, you need to make sure you're dedicating yourself to that forward movement. Forward movement is just forward movement. It doesn't matter what direction you move in. Okay. For those of us who are not yet sure whether we're going to um, really flow with this and commit ourselves to the process, you're going to have a little bit of time, not a lot. I think for many of us, we need to be very, very realistic as to how long we typically will choose to drag our feet through any type of process that soul initiates. If you can be honest with yourself about how long you choose to drag your feet through a process, I do the same thing. If I don't want to do something, I'll drag it out. Michael is calling me out. But I do the same thing. If it's a process that brings me to spaces within myself where I'm uncomfortable, I'll drag it out. And it just, it's part of how we learn and grow. But I also know that when I drag it out, I have a tendency to struggle and suffer much longer than I ever needed to. Much, much longer. And it just becomes a thing, right? And just it's a thing. And it's definitely a thing that is felt viscerally by someone like me, and probably will be felt viscerally by someone like you as well. So for me, the only option really is to flow with it, to move with that journey forward. I mean, choice is yours. You could choose to flow with it, or you could choose to drag your feet and have a much worse experience than is necessary. It's totally up to you. But what's going to end up happening, regardless of what you choose, is your ethos, the mindset that surrounds you, it's going to be adjusted so that your mindset will be adjusted, right? Um, we have to be careful about the ways in which we allow other people to dictate to us, the way we see ourselves, the way we see our experiences, the way we move within our journey because of our fear of how other people will see us. I once had a person um, who went on a full campaign, um, a full campaign, right, to go ahead and um, try and just create a lot of doubt. Right? They wanted me out of the way. They wanted me out of the picture, except it was my platform. And so, what did they do? At that point, I was already well known for being a parasitic extractor. That's my subspecialty, right? I'm very good at the work that I do, very efficient, very, very good at the work I do. And when I specialize in something, that typically means that I excel far beyond the capacity of 99.999% of other people I will come across. This person who launched a campaign, they couldn't keep up with what I was doing, the work that I do. And I had considered them a friend. So what did they do? They tried to inject toxicity into my ethos, into my mindset, the way I see life, the way I see my purpose, right? And then what happened? They then began saying that parasites are not real, that those are just fear programs, and there is someone, some publicly visible person, who is trying to sell services by scaring you. I know what I've lived through. I lived through it. I know what I lived through. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. These are not imagined things. This is not some type of group psychosis, right? For some of you, you have someone in your life that does this to you. They might not say it to you directly. They might go around and tell everyone else, right? They might go around and tell everyone else, like, oh, no, that's not true. That's just fear mongering. Well, that's funny because all of that existed before you ever found me, right? These are the people who are brought to you to ensure your dedication to yourself. And they're not ensuring your dedication to your process by being jovial, by being very encouraging and compassionate and, empowering and all of those other things. No, they're ensuring your dedication to yourself and your process by creating an adversarial environment that leaves you no other option but to stand your ground. And I think what this reading is trying to tell you is that you have stood your ground for long enough. Now is a time for movement, and not movement out of fear, right? It's not you scurrying along out of a space of fear. No, it's about you making conscious decisions about directions you are headed, how fast you will go, or how much you want to kind of meander around and explore and just, you know, a process is a process. There's no rush. It's all up to you. But just know the people who have been doing this type of thing to you, whether overtly or covertly, they're being removed. Their access to you is being removed. They are the obstacles that are being dissolved. And what's funny, that specific individual, I look back now and before they just started to before they decided to do a full-on brute force coup d'etat power takeover type nonsensical shit, um, they were actually offering extractions. Yeah, paid extractions. That's funny. You owe all those people refunds because you were lying to them in accordance with what you said. Demons are not real. Parasites are not real. You owe all of those people refunds. For that entire year, you were copying my work. You owe all of them refunds. But of course, they'd never address that. Oh, Emmy's just being a hater. She's just jealous. Jealous of what? Jealous of what? And then, of course, given enough time, someone had shared with me, much to my disdain, someone had shared with me that, oh, they don't say that anymore. They don't say parasites are not real anymore. They don't talk about reality bubbles anymore. So yes, of course, they probably Googled something new and have a new fad that they're chasing to sell services that are fictitious. You know who you are. Just because someone is intimidated by your existence, regardless of how hard you tried to play small, just because their insecurities have caused them to go out of their way to be malignant towards you, does not mean you shrink back. It doesn't mean you allow someone to have their way with you. It just doesn't. You don't do that. Don't let them. Yesterday, I was live on all of the platforms, including TikTok at the same time. And I don't know who it was, but they were just trying to start something in the comments with someone else. And it's like, what did that person write that you're so hell bent on proving on proving that it's a fake account? And I mean, and then it turned out to be one of y'all. And I was like, okay, no, you're out. Like, don't be starting stuff in the comments. You're out. You're banned. You're banned. Like, no. Mm-mm. Because to me, you disrespect someone that means something to me that's received as a full on disrespect to me directly. If you love me and you respect me, then you, by virtue of that love and respect, are to extend that to the people who mean something to me. There's times where I want to just cuss a person out and I'd be like, hey, is this person like important to you? I'm serious. I'm serious. I don't scroll on Facebook anymore just because it's like, but I have been known in the past, like if I see someone being disrespectful in the comments and they're irking the crap out of me because of the way they're treating everyone else, I will privately message the original poster, the person who made the post, and I'll be like, hey, this person, are they important to you? Are they like family or something? Are they like a good friend? Basically, I'm asking you, is it okay for me to be disrespectful to them? Because I don't want to disrespect you by disrespecting them. Is that okay? Because I'm sick of the way they're behaving on your post, right? And I look at that circumstance where someone was trying to start stuff with another person and bring everyone else into it, right? Um, and it was kind of just like, what was that for? What was the intention? And I allow myself to observe that. And it's like, oh, they recognize there's something different about your energy. That's why they zero in on you. Your energy, your intelligence, you're brilliant. You are. It's impressive. Your brilliance shines through. They felt it. They were intimidated by it. So they wanted to be the brilliant one. It's got to get rid of you, right? Wrong. There's room for everybody. Allow the blockages to be dissolved. Allow yourself to receive whatever it is needing to be received. And then allow what you experience to shift your mindset into a space where you can exist more authentically. I tell you guys right now, for those of you who have been with me for some time, especially on YouTube, you guys have been with me through some really messed up circumstance in my life. There's no one that will take your place. No one. There's no platform that I will shift onto where suddenly you guys are irrelevant and no longer cherished. Mm-mm. No, no. That is the type of loyalty I have. You've never been drama. You've never started drama with people and never started drama for me. You've been with me through all these different difficult circumstances. No, no one's messing with you. No, I refuse. That's not going to happen. Not with me seeing what's happening. Nope, no, nope. Hell no. You don't even have to ask me. Like, no, people going to disrespect you? No, not okay. And that is my ethos, right? That is my mindset. We as a community, we got each other. We got each other. We have got each other. And that's not to say that there won't be um, people on other platforms that carry our level of integrity, compassion, and care. That's not to say that at all. There's quite a few who I've recently come across on another platform who are very lovely people, very, very lovely. They already feel like part of our YouTube community, right? It's about the mindset. Whatever you would not allow for someone you cherish, you should also not allow for yourself. Never allow people to be disrespectful to you when you would never allow someone to disrespect the people you cherish. Never allow someone to disrespect the people you cherish if you yourself would never allow someone to be disrespectful to you. The ethos must be carried through. Your mindset must be one of empowerment. And when you allow that mindset to be what it needs to be, it will automatically begin dissolving these obstacles that have been placed before you. Obstacles that really are rooted in a frame of mind more than in actuality, right? It's a frame of mind more than it is in actuality. There's something that I had seen where it's like, initially when I first came across this person, it's like, oh, this is very, very just fascinating. Mm. And then there was this one interaction where I could tell that my presence rubbed them the wrong way. And I wasn't trying to rub anyone the wrong way. But it was almost like I could sense that they did not like that I was somehow getting more attention than them, which again, I wasn't trying to. I was trying to interact with them, not in a obtrusive way, but just interacting. And then so I just left that alone. I'm like, okay, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And I know sometimes my energy, my presence can be disruptive for some reason. And so when that's made clear to me, I'm good. I don't want to be offensive to anyone. And then recently I came across some other content several days in a row. And it was like, wait, are you? I know what this is. I know what this is. Um, It's one of those situations that I've already been through and I don't need to go through again. A situation where um, it's going to end badly. There is a coveting happening. There is a desire for mimicry, replication. I'm good. I'm good. Um, as a matter of fact, I've been debating on whether or not I should unfollow that person just because it's like, you know, you're going to do you. You go ahead and you do you. I don't need to see anymore. I've seen enough. And that just needs to be what it is. I've seen enough. I've seen enough to make a very clear headed assessment of who you are and how you are. And that's enough. That was going to be an obstacle that was going to solidify. And I don't want to be part of that. I just don't. Right. But I mean, what if you're wrong? Well, then they can continue on with their genuine self in my absence. How often have I been wrong about a person? When it comes to a person's intentions with me, how often have I been wrong? Never, not a single time. How often have I not wanted to believe the reality of what I'm picking up from a person? All the time. Every single time. I'm serious, all the time. And I think this is an important thing to hear because for many of you, you do the same thing. You are very accurate in your assessment and awareness of people's intentions with you, yet you hold on to it. Why? Because you don't want to be mean. You don't want to be mean. And that's unfortunate because we have misconstrued being nice with being kind. I'm not a nice person, but I am very kind. I am not a nice person because I will say what needs to be said without the intention of hurting someone, but knowing what I'm about to say might hurt a little bit, but it is what you need to hear so you can begin the process of considering what needs to be considered. Nice people won't say what needs to be said. I now equate being niceness with a declaration of your potentiality to be fake. I can't. I don't want to. I do not want to be fake. I can't. It's both. It's I can't and I don't want to. At one point, it was I didn't want to. And so I wouldn't allow myself. And I've done that for so long that now I can't. I just can't. So instead, I ask people, do you want the truth or do you want me to be supportive? Because those are not always the same thing, right? Like one situation, I was hosting, in-person retreat. I was hosting an in-person retreat, and this individual was trying to force me to verbally agree to some contrived story they had in their mind about the past life connections of everyone at that event. And it's like, no, you don't resonate as a former mother of mine. You don't resonate as a being that is basically, you are not a Sophia, baby boo. You are not a Sophia. Sophia is a female counterpart of God as a female aspect. Like you are not. It does not resonate at all. But they needed me to co-sign the story in order for everyone else to fall in line. And I was like, no. And they knew I wasn't going to co-sign it. So then came the tears, which Capricorn moon, Capricorn Venus. Tears don't move me if they're not genuine. And so as they began to cry, which made everyone uncomfortable, I simply asked them, do you want me to be supportive or do you want the truth? Because those are two different things right now. And I want to know how you need me to show up for you. She wanted support. She didn't want the truth. Because the truth would have been, I think you're full of shit. And you really need to stop because you're weirding everyone out. Like, this shit you're doing is not, it's not okay. And you've been acting up since you got here. As of when I tell people, when I give you those options, I'm telling you, if you choose truth, I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to let you know. Right? She chose support. So I gave her a hug from the side with a stone cold face because you're crying to manipulate me. It's not working. I am not a nice person, but I am kind. And in that kindness, there is authenticity. And that will always outweigh any nice thing that someone could say to soothe you, whether they believe it or not. What's being dissolved is your adherence to a system that causes you to be fake nice, that causes you to shut yourself down, shut yourself up, just to maintain a peace that never existed in the first place. Because if I say something, then people will get mad. Let them be mad. Let them process their emotions. Let them. Are you intentionally trying to piss them off? No? Okay. You have no control over how someone feels. None. You have no control over how someone feels. I have had people tell me the sweetest things about me and how they see me. And there have been times where, despite the kindness, the kind words, the compliments, man, my feelings be getting hurt. It hurts my feelings. I don't know why. Well, because I'm still sifting through the wreckage of my earlier life. Does that mean I'm broken? No, that means there's so much that's been deconstructed, affording soul the opportunity to have an endless supply of material from which to build me up with. You are not broken. You are merely in a process of being deconstructed. And now the time, you're out of time. Out of time for what? Are you being rushed? No. You're out of time for the excuses you've been making for yourself. These obstacles are being dissolved. This is for your benefit. And you might be afraid. That's okay. Most of the things that I do, I have some degree of fear. I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to do it anyways. Why? Because it's something I have to do. I'm going to do it anyways. If my soul is instructing me, it's something I will do. And I think for many of us, part of what's happening is our core essence has been left upside down. Because why? We've listened to too many people who have no idea who we are, and what we're here to do. Too many people have had a say in what we are supposed to do, who we are. Years ago, I love my mama. We're such different people. And the differences between her and I have really been the impetus for tremendous amounts of growth for myself. I appreciate her as a woman and as a mother. Years ago, though, Early 2000s, I was a freelance makeup artist, and not just freelance makeup artist, posting pictures on social media and trying to present myself as something and trying to be an influencer. No, I'm talking about I had commercial bookings. So I was constantly evolving my working portfolio. I would have random models that I would find, and I would work with them on a TFP basis, trade for print, meaning I'm not paying them, but in exchange for their time and participation, they are now licensed to utilize the pictures for their own promotion, right? And my mother didn't know this. Um, she felt I was just wasting my time and wasting money because I spent so much on makeup. And, you know, um, that I needed to stop being that kind of wife. That kind of wife that is okay with my husband being the one that works and me not doing anything and using my kid as an excuse. Asian parenting. Yeah, no. Um, Oftentimes when I do a commercial booking, uh, it would be published like campaigns, commercial campaigns. And then one day of work would be like a month's salary for an individual for one day of work, 6 to 8 hours. And because I allowed her to get into my head, which I don't fault my mother, she wanted the best for me. She saw my high degree of medical inclination and she felt that I was wasting my intelligence just doing makeup. She wanted me to become a nurse or a doctor. And so I ended up quitting. I got to a point where the next logical step would require me to move to New York and sign with an agency in New York as a makeup artist, be agency represented. And then I would be making bank, but I wasn't ready. I didn't want that kind of recognition. And so I shut my company down. And then a few years later, she says to me, "Oh, remember how you used to play with makeup?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you know you can make a lot of money from that?" Like, did you think I was doing things for free? um, yeah, she's like, "You should do that again because you were kind of good." And I was like, "No, no, I'm not. I don't want to anymore. I don't want to anymore." I allowed other people to get in my head. And near the time where I quit, I had accomplished something profound. My photography, makeup, wardrobe work, and I sat as a creative director for this photo shoot. I did everything, post-production, editing, everything. I just had the model. It was picked up by Maxim and it was featured. That's an international publication. Now, when I shared it with the people who were closest to me, which there wasn't a lot of people, not very many people were happy or excited about it. And I got the sense that they didn't like that I was bragging. And it wasn't done in a bragging way. I was sharing something that made me feel happy. And because I allowed too many people in my head at that time, the lack of celebration for a large accomplishment like that, it caused me to feel wholeheartedly like, this is stupid. I'm just wasting my time. I should just stop. I should just stop. I I shouldn't bother anymore. You know, my husband thought it was hella dope. It was fun. My husband's my biggest co-signer. He enables everything. He literally enables everything. I have a cockamamie-ass idea. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "Did you hear what I said?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it." It's always a cockamamie-ass idea, right? But, that's the thing, though. You let too many people in your head, you lose sight of what it is you're accomplishing, right? You lose sight of it because people who are not part of that industry, who are not part of that dream, are being given a platform within your mind from which to speak down onto you. That's an obstacle that absolutely needs to be dissolved. It needs to go away. It needs to go away, right? You just do what needs to be done to achieve whatever objective you've worked so hard for already, right? You've worked so hard for these things. To me, it was like, well, I mean, I could just quit now because, you know, I haven't really invested too much in the grand scheme of things. I haven't really invested too much, right? But is that the truth? For you, is that the truth? You haven't invested too much. Are you looking at it in terms just of money? You've only spent $50, $100, $300, $1,000. It's only 5,000 that I've invested. It's not a big deal, right? Are you looking at it from that standpoint? Because there's an investment of your time, your energy, your heart, your expectations, your focus. There's so much more than just a money investment in everything you do, in everything you do, right? When you listen to these people who are serving as the obstacles, your passion for what you're doing will not be renewed. You will not be able to continue forward. You will not be able to see what needs to be seen. Mm, mm. I think for some of us, we're letting people in our heads because um, we are afraid to admit to ourselves the actual gravity of what it is we're here to do. Because you're so accustomed to people not understanding you, not accepting you. And if you allow yourself to succeed to the degree that you know you're capable of, then more people will be aware of you and you can't control the way they see you. Mm, mm. Does that need to be controlled? Is that something that needs to be controlled, or is that something that is like a remnant of how you used to be with yourself? Is that something that also needs to be dissolved right along with the people and the circumstance and the mindsets that serve as obstacles? You need to make an alliance between the self and the soul. You need to accept the alliance that your soul is presenting to you. And whatever this alliance is between the self and the soul, it has a capacity to just push you so far into what your purpose is. Again, yes, it's scary. There might be fear involved. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. Just do it. Take a chance on yourself, right? Take a chance on yourself. Reaction. I think for some of us, this is about recognizing that you have been the lotus planted in murky waters. Here's the thing. I think for some of us, we think that just because we've faced adversity, that's indicative that we are not worthy, that we are not loved, that we are this, that we are that. Do you know how much adversity I've faced and still continue to face? Does that mean I'm not loved? Does that mean I'm not worthy? Does that mean I'm not capable, that I am not the appropriate fit, that I don't have the capacity to, I don't know. Is that what that means? Because there's quite a few of you that consistently are so complimentary in your words, so kind and generous with the compliments, with the sharing of the positive effects that you feel I've had on you and your journey. So, who do I believe? The nonstop influx of people who want to energetically harm me because they don't want me to be publicly visible, complete strangers, most times at this point, or you who has seen through to the core of me, to my heart, you see who I am, how I am. Who am I supposed to believe? You know who most people will believe? The hurtful, harmful one. I could have 200 people telling me amazing things about myself, and I'm so kind and I'm so loving and empowering and all of these like really beautiful things. And then one person will come along and be like, "You're fake and you're a scammer." And is that who I'm supposed to listen to? The one person who is projecting onto me what they would like to have the ability to do to other people, right? Who do I listen to? Who do you listen to? I used to listen to that one or two people who were so um just audacious, bombastic. Right. Right, blissful. We listen to strangers because we think the people who love us are biased. My husband could tell me all day, all night, like I am the most gorgeous woman he's ever seen. And I'm like, you're supposed to say that. He is. He's supposed to say that. Right. But then again, my husband's a Gemini. He says a lot of shit that people would not say because he just says whatever comes out of his mouth. He's not one to compliment just for the hell of compliments. He has to actually mean it. He'd be cracking up when I'd be trying to practice my stage walk at the gym. I'd be cracking up too. Because I know he's going to be cracking up if he looks over at me. Right? We have to start listening to the people who are telling us the truth. We do. We have to start listening to the people who are telling us the truth. This reaction of, oh, woe is me because I'm thriving in murky water. I should be in clear water. Okay, but you're a lotus. What other flower do you know represents peace and beauty in the way that you do? That's like, have you guys ever seen peonies? Fucking love peonies. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Peony, especially the creamsicle ones. Oh my God. Peonies are gorgeous. Oh my God, $490. What? What is this? Is it like real? Real touch flowers, pink peonies, interior bouquet with artificial. It's artificial, bitch. Why are you gonna charge $490? Because you can. That's the value of what you do. That's why. Okay, let me show you a peony because they are gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, peony bouquets. Oh my God. These are so gorgeous. Okay. I'm just going to show you guys this. Okay. Like it's from Sheen. I'm talking about real peonies. No, I don't want your discount. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Right? Peonies. Oh my God. Gorgeous. Do you know how big these blossoms are? They're like huge. And the way they smell. Oh my God. And they're typically available only during a very small window in the year. They're not available 24 they're not available 12 months a year. It's only like a 2 or 3 month window when they are in season. And I mean, really though, should a peony be ashamed that it's not a rose? A rose is so common. It's available all the time. A rose is so common. Like, should never be ashamed for being who you are and unlike all the others. Should never be ashamed. Ever. Ever. Right? You need to allow yourself the opportunity to just embrace who you are. That hesitation, it comes from a lack of self-worth. You don't understand how valuable you are. Trust me, I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like. I know how that feels to live in such a way where you don't understand what the big deal is, right? You don't understand what the big deal about you is. Well, here's the thing. I still don't understand what the big deal is. And it's not, I think people see me as a big deal. It's that for the amount of people who attack me on a regular basis on live streams, like there's at least 3 or 4 people that have already tried during this live stream. And I've just kept right on going, right? It's like, what is the big deal about me staying in my own lane on my own channel and just doing a collective read? What is the big deal? Why does that upset you so much? And then I realize, well, you're not my concern. You're not my concern. It's not my place to try and heal people who are unwilling to heal the wounds that cause them to behave in such malignant ways. That is another obstacle being dissolved, right? You need to be careful about that very rampantly spread spiritual mindset that you are a savior. You are here to save other people. Honey, you are not God. You are not God. You have no authority or dominion over others. Neither do I. I can share information with you. I can try and encourage you to shift your mindset. At the end of the day, you are in control of yourself. There's nothing I can do or should do to try and override your sovereign free will, right? I think for many of us, another blockage that's being dissolved is this way in which we turn other people into these people projects, right? Well, it's justified. I can't work on myself right now. Someone needs me. That someone is a reflection of a part of you that you refuse to heal. Now, there is no one that needs me more than I need myself, outside of maybe my children and my husband, right? There's no one else. Does that mean I don't help anyone? No, that means if me helping you requires me to ignore my needs, requires me to ignore my circumstance, then no, I cannot. Unfortunately, I cannot. I am responsible for me. I think for too many, we go ahead and we help other people only to expect other people to then help us because now we're in deficit. It's not how it works. That's not how we become stronger as individuals or as a community, right? Mirrored souls. There are those in your environment who are a mirror of you. They are a mirror of all of the things that you need to shift within yourself and all of the ways in which you are wanting to heal, right? You are wanting to heal. And sometimes the people who are the mirror of your need to heal are the people who have already healed and they're showing you it's possible. It's possible. You have to allow yourself to shine so that you can find the path back home to you. Okay. Again, time out in reverse. This is being pushed forward by soul. It is very much being pushed forward by soul. It is something that you can um, no longer stop from happening. You can no longer delay this to the degree you've been trying to delay it. And it's going to initiate a transformation. Once you go through this transformation, you're not going to become a different person. Another misconstrued spiritual teaching being spread out there that when you awaken, you're suddenly a different person. You're dressing different, speaking different, using just pompous terms. And, you know, it's not even part of your vernacular, but you're speaking that way because you want to what? Appear a certain way in the eyes of others. Hi, Monica. Um, no. Michael says I'm a hypocrite. No one understands me when I use my vernacular. People get weirded out. My preferred form of expostulation involves a rather uncommon way of articulation. I've always talked weird as a kid. I don't I was born in the wrong time. Yeah, no, seriously. Like I wouldn't, my natural way of talking, I wouldn't say, "Hey, do you want to chat later?" I would say something along the lines of, "Are you free for symposium?" Just because that's just, I don't know. I've just always, okay. And so it's not necessarily me being a hypocrite. I know Teresa would understand me. No, I'm saying, no, I'm saying, it's this thing of if part of what I'm here to do is to share thoughts, then I must speak the language of the people I share with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a colonizer. No, seriously. It's expected to speak the language of the people that I am speaking to. And last I checked, y'all were not from like the 1200s. Yeah. I don't know. I've always talked weird, even as a kid. Mhm. But if you allow yourself to dim your shine just to better fit in to a group you weren't supposed to fit into to begin with, who does that help? I used to do that. It didn't help anyone. Now I just let myself shine at whatever degree of shine I'm currently at. Some days are brighter than others. Other days are much more dim. Um, it is what it is. I'm where I'm at when I'm there. And that's just how it is. And what I found is by me just letting myself do that, Whatever light I shine, yes, it will offend those who are not ready to be in any type of light, but it will also gift those who are desperately looking for the path to get back home to themselves. It will help those people find the path back to them, not find the path to follow me. No, I don't need followers. I don't want followers. I want equals, people I can stand shoulder to shoulder with and know you are just as committed to your healing and growing as I am to my own. And together we can more powerfully encourage and inspire others to also heal and grow themselves. It's time for us to take our rightful place. In order to do that, the path must first be cleared. Oh, got a notification. It's finally here. The path is being cleared so that you can arrive. The time for you to walk towards your destined path is finally here. And some of you might be like, well, Emmy, I thought you said the path of soul is a wilderness. Yes, if you're exploring. The path of your divine purpose leads to a specific degree of service that has been carefully designed by soul. That is not a wilderness. Your personal journey, absolutely, it's a wilderness. There is no path. Discover yourself, rediscover yourself, explore, expand, do what needs to be done, release, resolve, dissolve, right? Stop being a caricature. There was this guy whose video I came across like a year ago on TikTok, and I threw my phone. It was the most obnoxious shit I've ever seen. It was legit the most obnoxious shit I've ever seen. And this is me being very judgmental, not in a bad way, in a truthful way. There were thousands of comments, and this guy was speaking legit fucking gibberish. Like, what are you even saying? Because he was using uncommon words that are not already a part of the current vernacular. And then he was just like basing it off the sense. You don't even know the etymology of the word. What are you fucking talking about? And then there are so many people in the comments were like, oh my God, your wordplay is so sick. You're so woke. And then I kept scrolling because that's none of my concern. That's none of my concern. And that is me dissolving the blockage to correct and insert myself into someone else's distorted view of themselves. That is me dissolving my desire to hold a mirror in front of them and be like, no, you're fucking naked. It's not some new fabric. Dear sir, you are not wearing the new morphogenetic fit. You're naked. And people are seeing your twig and berries. You guys, don't fall into that trap. There is no right or wrong way to do your spiritual journey. A spiritual journey is not something you lecture on. It is not something you could give instruction for. It is a process that is lived organically in real time. In real time. So just live it. Be you. Let everything that needs to be dissolved be dissolved. And then just keep carrying forward. I got to get going. If you guys want to join me for the exclusive discussion in our Soul Sanctuary space, click on that QR code and it will take you to where you can go ahead and be a part of our congregation. This is a recurring contribution. So that means it's not a membership. And because it is not a membership and simply a recurring contribution, for those in the US of A, it is a tax deduction. It is a donation to a religious organization, which is what our church is. Also, I will be live tomorrow. Oh, for those who are part of the sanctuary, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We got about 15 minutes. And tomorrow I'll be live doing the Protection Tea Party. A lot of different expedites available there. If you are needing some type of scan, reading, I don't know what I have available there. Whatever it is, look through it and see what you're drawn to. And I will see all of y'all tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I might go live later today on TikTok to do some shit talking about Toth. Some Toth shit talking on the Akashic Records on TikTok. So my hair is still wet, starting to get painful follicles. Let me go ahead and let my follicles just breathe. Yes, in about 15 minutes, we're going to go over to the Soul Sanctuary. Tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, tea party. And then possibly later tonight, chat on TikTok about Akashic Records and Toth. Follow me on TikTok. Emmy Evolving Across the Board. I'm Emmy Evolving Across the Board. Bye, everybody.